If for the universe no motion exists due to the total symmetry that exists between motion and rest in a non-local way, our idea or notion of matter-energy does not exist for the universe either, because matter is just a reserved amount of motion, and energy is the ability to do work, which also means moving an amount of matter. Time also does not exist for the universe. Time is only locally a standard measure of movement. Measures of empty space also do not exist for the universe. To measure or visualize space, some kind of movement is always necessary. As for the universe, movements simply do not exist due to their total identity with rest. As a result of the continuity of the void, there is nothing with which to build the concept of space. For the universe, the total symmetry between our apparently different concepts leads it to be the absolute nothingness. For the universe, only absolute nothingness seems to exist. Leibniz's question is answered. We live within absolute nothingness, and there is no contradiction in that. Although all our concepts are valid locally, they are exactly or perfectly proportional to each other locally. The validity of our concepts simply does not extend to the most general possible case. The explanation of why concepts exist is that our different and varied concepts exist locally because they are all not different, and are all the same for the most general possible case. This is what allows the concepts to exist locally, and explains the exact proportionality that we always observe occurring between them locally. Every time we observe the universe, no matter how big or wide that observation is, we always observe only a small piece of the universe. The only way to talk about the entire universe, which is always locally infinite in its measures and extent in space and eternal in time, is in the way we have just explained. Also for this reason, the laws of physics locally have never been and never will be different from how they are today. The way physics works locally has never been and never will be changed through centuries, millennia, and eternity. Physics works the same way anywhere in space and at any period of time by the way we describe the universe. Locally, the foundation of all our concepts is in the idea or notion of movement. We don't need to hope or fear that in the world of ultra-small scales, of quantum scales, things will work very differently from how they work in our world of large scales. If here the foundation of our concepts is in movement, there it is too. The foundation of the world of matter particles as here is also motion. We don't need to invent weird names or spooky attitudes for the movements that take place in the micro world of particles. The difference between the small world of the Planck scale and our macrometric world is in the amount or intensity of the movements. But what moves? If everything we see locally has its origin in motion, including measurements of space and time, then what is moving? The inexistence in the universe of an absolute reference for the determination of the movements as admitted by Einstein from empirical data is a clear symptom of the continuity of empty space, of the fact that empty space is continuous. Such a continuity, which allows any points located in empty space to communicate instantly, regardless of the distance they are from each other, makes empty space a tense way whose intensity can locally vary around its mean value, but without beginning and without end in its extension and without any intermediate point of absolute existence, meaning that no movement can be a movement in an absolute way, meaning that any type of movement is always only relative, that all movements are always also a perfect state of rest. Understanding deeper thinking about the functioning of physics leads to the understanding of life. Taking time into account, common experience confronts us with phenomena that have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel and give your like if you enjoy it.